A very good evening and welcome to Verdict 2015 here on Rajya Sabha TV, where we get you the latest on campaigning for Bihar. Of course, right now, all guns blazing for the third phase to take place on the 28th. But before that, of course, a lot that's taking place. We'll get you that in a bit. I'm Tracy Shilshi, and here are the headlines. Flurry of rallies by political parties ahead of the third phase polling. Amit Shah addresses public gathering in Buxar. Lalu Prasad in Champaran constituency. BJP President Amit Shah warns voters, says that if Nitish Kumar comes to power, Lalu Prasad and his party would indirectly control his government. Chief Election Commissioner Nazim Zaidi says he is satisfied with the polling process in Bihar so far, lauds the efforts of expenditure monitoring team. And in focus, Bihar's East Champaran district that goes to polls in the third phase. Tough battle on the cards between the NDA and the Grand Alliance for 12 seats. BJP President Amit Shah is confident of the NDA's win in these assembly elections. Training guns at the Grand Alliance, Amit Shah said that if Nitish Kumar comes to power again, then Lalu Prasad would indirectly control his government. Addressing a press conference in Patna, Shah said that the BJP is contesting the assembly elections on the development agenda and will win. He also affirmed that the BJP supports the current reservation policy and has no plans to amend it.
मैं स्पष्टता न करना चाहता हूं मित्रों, ये पत्रकार वार्ता के माध्यम से कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी वर्तमान आरक्षण व्यवस्था की समर्थक है। इसमें किसी भी प्रकार के बदलाव का समर्थन नहीं करती है। संविधान ने दलित, आदिवासी और पिछड़े अति पिछड़ों को जो अधिकार दिया है, उसको अक्षुण्ण रखने के लिए भारतीय जनता पार्टी कटिबद्ध है।
Well, for more on this developing story, we're joined by Nikhil, who's a senior journalist, joining us, in fact, live from Patna this evening. Nikhil, thanks so much for being here with us on Verdict 2015. Just talking about that Amit Shah presser, of course, the reservation issue coming time and again, and we did see him getting a little irked by the questions as well. But this is one issue where the BJP does seem like it's on the back foot, especially with the RSS saying they need that change in the reservation policy.
Yeah, you are right that Amit Shah is he just today called a press conference in a hurry, and a day back when he reached Patna, he called all the NDA leaders as well as BJP leaders and had a hectic meeting till late at night. And BJP simply wants to put a brave front, and already Amit Shah is doing rallies and going for campaign and doing a workers meet. But here, what was the need to do a special press conference just to clarify that BJP's position on reservation? And second thing, three things BJP leader Amit Shah just tried to clarify. First was that posters were not removed, and still Modi and Amit Shah is on poster. So there was a news in all the newspapers and everywhere. It was a flash, news was flashed that Narendra Modi and Amit Shah posters are being removed. Second point is that the beef issue, which BJP leaders from different sections and states were passing several comments which hurt the sentiment of not only the masses but progressive community of this country. So they have to especially clarify, so as BJP has tested that it is really tough to go for a communal polarization. So BJP simply is trying to keep off the beef issue.
Yes.
And the reservation issue, on which BJP is simply on back foot, and he has simply used this word that there is no backward versus forward like polarization in Bihar. And BJP has presented their own data that they are going to win in both the phases of which already had election. So I think BJP is simply in a confused state.
Yes.
And today's press conference just
It's kind of a reflection
BJP
of
tried
that. We'll
to
continue
put
talking
a
about it, Nikhil. But
consolidated
first, in
face.
fact, let me just take our viewers through those flurry of rallies that we actually saw, which are, of course, on across constituencies, going to polls, of course, in that third phase. We, of course, did hear, of course, of the of Amit Shah, rallying in Buxar. NDA leaders, of course, focusing on, their speeches on the development issue. Of course, the Grand Alliance, though, they are taking on the BJP campaigners on what they call lowering the quality of the election discourse. Take a look.
A confident BJP President Amit Shah on Monday addressed an election rally in Simli constituency in Buxar district. He trained his guns at the Grand Alliance, alleging that a potential Nitish Kumar government would always be remote controlled by Lalu Prasad Yadav.
नीतीश जी विकास का दम भरते हैं, विकास की बात करते हैं, उनके एक कंधे पर लालू प्रसाद यादव है, उसका जंगल राज है, और दूसरे कंधे पर कांग्रेस का 12 लाख करोड़ रुपयों का भ्रष्टाचार है। आप मुझे बताइए, एक कंधे पर जंगल राज और एक कंधे पर भ्रष्टाचार, विकास हो सकता है क्या?
Shah said the BJP is firmly focused on the development agenda and it will do everything to ensure the development of Bihar. He also said Nitish Kumar cannot bring development in the state because his alliances are not in favor of growth and development.
विकास करना है तो एनडीए के नेतृत्व में भारतीय जनता पार्टी की सरकार बनानी पड़ेगी, तभी जाकर विकास।
In Hajipur, former Chief Minister Jitan Ram Manjhi led the charge for the NDA. At a rally in poll-bound Hajipur, Manjhi accused Chief Minister Nitish Kumar of hijacking his plans and taking credit for them.
छात्रवृत्ति का मामला हो, महिलाओं का आरक्षण का मामला हो, ये सारे मुद्दे हमारे थे जिसको हमने लागू करने का निर्णय लिया था, उस समय रद्द कर दिया था, बाद में उसको लागू कर रहे हैं। तो यदि हमारे सारे निर्णय उस समय था और हम पागल थे और उस निर्णय को आप लागू कर रहे हैं, तो जीतन मांझी से बड़ा पागल तो आप हैं, तो आपको फिर क्यों सत्ता में लाया जाए?
For the Grand Alliance, RJD Chief Lalu Prasad Yadav addressed an election rally in the Champaran constituency. Targeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi and the RSS, Lalu said BJP is led by the RSS. He said Modi's insults against Chief Minister Nitish Kumar are an affront to every citizen of the state. Voting has concluded for two phases in the Bihar 5-phase elections. Polling for the third phase will be held on 28th of October after a 12-day gap for Durga Puja and Dashera. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, senior journalist Nikhil Anand continuing to be with us from Patna. Nikhil, though that press conference that we were talking about of Amit Shah, quite in a hurried manner being called, does it also indicate about the changing strategy of the BJP as far as the next few phases are concerned?
Yeah, of course, BJP is trying to change a bit with their strategy. And here, their strategy is only to present their consolidated face as well as confuse the Grand Alliance people and Grand Alliance leaders. Here you see that Amit Shah is constantly attacking Lalu Prasad Yadav, but not even directly mentioning the name of Nitish Kumar. Because Nitish Kumar, you see in several of his campaign, he's going on a very positive agenda. He's talking about his 10 years of development and what he is planning to do if he is voted to power. So BJP people are put in a dog-like situation where he cannot directly take on the Grand Alliance. They are exclusively targeting Lalu Prasad Yadav, calling them as Jangal Raj too. So BJP is simply is in a situation where in first two phases they have assessment, and the insiders say that BJP is not at all confident to take the lead in first two phases. So, and in third and fourth phase, if BJP fails to click and gain big margin, there is no hope for the party. So, and the election where in the two phases where took place, it is said that the Kushwaha voters, they have been divided between the Grand Alliance and NDA. So they are having an alliance with Upendra Kushwaha. So if the alliance with Upendra Kushwaha is not viable, if the alliance with Jitan Ram Manjhi and Ram Vilas Paswan is not enough to consolidate the Dalit voters in favor of NDA, so BJP is in a situation where they need to rehash and reassess their strategy, own strategy, and go for a different, go with the different style and tactics, presenting their brave front. Yeah.
All right. We'll leave it there, Nikhil. And thanks so much for joining us on this story. Of course, the coming days we'll have to see what the BJP eventually comes up with as far as the strategy is concerned. But coming up ahead on the show, a prestige battle for the RJD. Party chief Lalu Yadav's elder son, Tej Pratap Yadav, is in the Mahua Assembly constituency. Details in a bit.
Tales that inspire, stories of social change. A salute to diversity, promoting public discourse. Events that motivate, inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries every Friday at 10:30 p.m, Saturday 12:30 p.m, and Sunday at 1 p.m.
Welcome back. Now, Chief Election Commissioner Nazim Zaidi today said that the Election Commission was satisfied with the polling process in the state. He appreciated the efforts of the expenditure monitoring team also, saying that it has seized 36 crores in illegal cash during campaigning. Zaidi also called upon the election officials involved in the third and fourth phase of elections to ensure social harmony. A team of 3 officials, including Chief Election Commissioner Nazim Zaidi, are on a 2-day visit to Bihar to take stock of the preparations for the 4th and the 5th phase of voting.
बहुत अच्छा काम प्रदेश में हो रहा है, जिसमें सभी प्रकार की प्रिवेंटिव एक्शंस जैसी कार्रवाइयाँ की गई हैं, जैसे नॉन बेलेबल वारंट का एग्जीक्यूशन है। प्रदेश में इस बार 50% से भी ज़्यादा शस्त्रों को थानों में डिपॉजिट कराया गया है। इसका भी असर शांति व्यवस्था बनाए रखने में और उचित वातावरण बनाए रखने में हम लोगों को मिला है।
Now, the Mahua Assembly constituency has become a prestige battle for the RJD. Party chief Lalu Prasad Yadav's elder son, Tej Pratap Yadav, is contesting from here. The seat has long been an RJD-JDU bastion, and with the sitting MLA fighting from the NDA ticket, the contest has become very interesting.
The Mahua Assembly seat in Vaishali district has become a VIP hot seat. The reason being former Chief Minister and RJD Chief Lalu Yadav's elder son Tej Pratap Yadav is fighting from this seat. The NDA has retained sitting MLA Ravindra Rai from the seat to contest against Tej Pratap. The assembly seat has been a JDU stronghold for a long time. The seat has become a prestige battle for Lalu Yadav. Lalu's daughter Misa Bharti is in charge of Tej Pratap's election campaign here.
हर एक 5 साल पे कोई ना कोई विधायक और एमपी बनता है, फिर भी ये स्थिति है तो ये महुआ का दुर्भाग्य है। और मुझे लगता है कि अब महुआ के लोग तेज प्रताप को अगर अपनी विश्वास तेज प्रताप में दिखाते हैं तो मुझे लगता है कि क्योंकि मैं एक बहन होने के नाते, मैं पार्टी के नाते नहीं कह रही हूँ, मैं एक बहन होने के नाते मुझे लगता है कि तेज प्रताप इस समस्या से जरूर निजात दिलाएगा।
In 2010, the JDU won the seat with Ravindra Rai emerging victorious. Now Rai is in the fray on an NDA ticket.
तेज प्रताप जी को तो छोड़ दीजिए, उनके पिता श्री लालू प्रसाद यादव जी को हम चुनौती देते हैं कि महुआ के ऐतिहासिक गांधी मैदान में हम ही से खुला बहस कर ले, और 35 वर्षों में वो क्या किए और 3.5 वर्षों में के कार्यकाल में मैंने क्या किया, उस पर बहस हो जाए और लोग उस पर फैसला कर देंगे।
Mahua has been known for its indigo and tobacco production, but now things are changing. There are 36 panchayats in this constituency. Apart from education, infrastructure, electricity and water, unemployment is a big issue here.
विकास चाहिए, शिक्षा, पानी, रोजगार, युवा को और क्या चाहिए? जातिवाद का खत्म।
There are a total of 2,07,869 voters in this constituency. Approximately 21.49% voters are from the scheduled castes. About 15.69% of the voters are Muslims. This area is still an RJD-JDU bastion as candidates from these parties have been winning elections since 1990 here. Ravindra Sheran's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And now time for what the leaders are talking about in Bihar in our segment Poll Bits.
जो उत्तर प्रदेश में कांग्रेस का और सपा का हाल हो गया, ऐसे ही नीतीश का और लालू का कहीं बिहार में हाल न हो जाए, ये भी मुझे आशंका है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी एनडीए के साथ 2/3 बहुमत से भी बड़े बहुमत से बिहार में सरकार बनाएगी।
एनडीए बीजेपी के गठबंधन की निश्चित हार बिहार में, वो अपनी जगह एक चीज है जो ज्यादा महत्वपूर्ण है, वो ये है कि चित भी मेरी पट भी मेरी वाली प्रक्रिया शुरू हो गई है। सब जानते हैं कि अगर हार होगी तो कहीं मोदी जी या अमित शाह का नाम नहीं आना चाहिए, अगर जीत होगी तो उसका सब श्रेय मोदी जी को मिलना चाहिए।
पहले ये नरेंद्र मोदी जी और अमित शाह जी अपना फोटो लगा करके होर्डिंग में हर जगह लगाते थे, और जिस दिन से उनको लगा कि माहौल खराब हो रहा है, तो आप देखे होंगे कि एनडीए के जो नेता हैं जो बिहार स्तर के, उनका फोटो धीरे धीरे लगाना शुरू कर दिया। तो भूमिका रची जा रही है।
A look at Bihar's Nalanda University, its teaching methods and its future plans.
आपका मुद्दा, आपका हाथ, सरकार तक पहुंचेगा आपका सवाल। राज्यसभा टीवी बनेगा आपकी आवाज।
Welcome back. Now, East Champaran is all set to witness a tough battle between the NDA and the Grand Alliance for as many as 12 seats. The region that was so strongly associated with India's freedom struggle is even today lacking in basic amenities. Let's take a look at what are the key issues that voters want their political leaders to address.
There is a historical significance on East Champaran district of Bihar. Motihari is the headquarters of the district. In 1917, Mahatma Gandhi began his first successful attempt at satyagrah from here. East Champaran has a total of 12 assembly seats. Raxaul, Sagoli, Narkatia, Harsiddhi, Govindganj, Kesaria, Kalyanpur, Pipra, Madhuban, Motihari, Chiraiya and Dhaka. In the previous assembly elections, the BJP-JDU combined won 11 out of the 12 seats. Out of the 11, the BJP won 6 seats and the JDU bagged 5. The RJD, on the other hand, won only 1 seat. But the political equations are different this time. The RJD-JDU Congress combine is taking on the BJP that has new allies in its NDA fold.
अब तक की सबसे बड़ी कृषि सिंचाई योजना, प्रधानमंत्री कृषि सिंचाई योजना 50,000 करोड़ की लाई गई है और बिहार में उसका क्रियान्वयन होना है, अभी तक हुआ नहीं है।
इस लड़ाई को जिला में सड़क से लेकर और सदन तक पहुंचाने का काम किया। जो भी समस्याएं आई केंद्रीय विश्वविद्यालय की स्थापना के लिए, उन समस्याओं का निदान कैसे हो, इस पर हम लोगों ने टू द पॉइंट बात भी किया।
For the local people, however, the fight is for basic facilities. Bad roads, lack of electricity and health facilities, and falling law and order situation are an election issue this time. People are also questioning their leaders on delay in construction of a central university, cleaning up of the Moti Lake and shutting down of sugar mills. Sugarcane is the only cash crop in the area. With the sugar mills in Chakia and Motihari shut, sugarcane farmers are facing a tough time.
शहर के बीचों बीच मोती झील जिसकी घोषणा यहाँ आकर के नीतीश कुमार ने किए और भी मुख्यमंत्री मांझी जी आकर के किए, लेकिन इन सारे घोषणाओं के बाद भी इसका विकास नहीं हो पाया।
पूरा किसान हम लोग का बदहाल है, ना नहरों में पानी है, न किसी भी सरकारी ट्यूबवेल में पानी दे रहा है।
अनुमंडल से लेकर प्रखंड तक कोई सुनवाई नहीं है।
There are more than 11,87,000 voters in East Champaran. The district will go to vote in the 4th phase on 1st of November. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Now, the Nalanda International University in Rajgir, the first capital of the ancient Mauryan kingdom, started its academic session last year with 15 students in the School of Historical Sciences and the School of Environment and Ecology. Now, the university completed its first year on the 1st of September. Against the backdrop of the assembly elections, our correspondent Neelu Vyas spoke to the students and faculty about their experience and their hopes for the future.
What is the need of another Nalanda?
Well, one short answer to that would be none of the 687 universities is Nalanda University.
Okay.
And there was clearly a need for a university that would carry forward the legacy of old Nalanda, draw inspiration from it. And what New Nalanda is aiming to do is draw from the best traditions of old Nalanda.
Okay.
It is also an inter-Asian university, a university that focuses on re-establishing the links that India had with Asia in a different era,
okay,
and to try and replicate that.
Okay.
And it is a research university.
Okay.
It's different from just a mass teaching university. This is a research university, and in an educational landscape where a large part of our higher education institutions have to devote themselves also to educating everybody, there is also space for the high-end research university, and Nalanda is designed to be that.
Okay, so if I were to ask you, Professor, what would be that one USP in maybe 2 lines you would say about Nalanda? What is Nalanda all about?
Well, I think it's an extraordinarily inspiring enterprise, if you like, an inspiring project that inspired me to come here and leave a permanent position with many kinds of, facilities that I had overseas.
Okay.
And to contribute to the growth of open, liberal, independent and critical thinking and ways in which we train students to respond to the many complexities of today's world.
But what really mesmerizes me, that when you talk about an international university with a liberal mindset, liberal arts, and setting up the regional cooperation as its main plank, the biggest question is that why, of all the places, Rajgir, a backward place, why would the international faculty really get attracted towards a place like this? If I could ask you, Professor, you from which place?
Well, I'm from Chicago. I did my degree in Chicago,
okay.
U.S.
So what really attracted you to this university?
Well, I think there's a couple of major reasons. One is that there's a strong focus on research, not just cultivating research from the faculty side, but working with students closely to cultivate an environment of research activity, research programs.
Well, don't forget to watch our complete show on this Nalanda University debate tonight at 10:30 p.m. on Rajya Sabha TV. Thanks so much for joining us.